Good afternoon. It's December 13th, starting from an unusual place, and this will be a one-way walk. I'm going to start up here. I'm on Scarth Street in front of the College Court condominiums, and I'm going to head straight down Albert because I have to go pick up my car at OK Tire on South Albert. I figure it's about a 45-minute walk, might be 50. We're about to find out. It's about -5 Celsius, which is, I don't know, 5 times 9 is, well, obviously 9, duh. It's about 23 degrees Fahrenheit. So not as warm as it was yesterday. Tomorrow, when I think it's going to be a couple of degrees cooler, and then it gets progressively cooler. And through cold days. And some more snow to freshen up the snow before Christmas. So, who's there? Oh, hi, John. Hi, Granny. Well, I think you're the only John Smith I know. So that's the college building across the street there. Oof. Which is where we're going. Is across the street. Assuming that people stop for us. Well, for me, if I get run over, it probably won't hurt you in the slightest. So that's the college building, has the Conservatory of Performing Arts in it, among other things. Recently refurbished. I'll walk down in front of it and get over to the kind of the angled road that's over there. I don't know why this person stopped, but okay. Nice, but unnecessary. Then we'll get over to Albert Street, and then it'll be a straight shot down Albert Street to OK Tire, where I took my car in because it had a brake light out, and they did an inspection, and now, $1,400 later, has new tires all around because I hadn't even thought about them, but probably because of being writer in residence in Saskatoon, put a lot of wear on them that year. So they do have about 60,000 kilometers on them, and they are shot. Just not much in the way of tread. And since we're heading into winter, it seems like perhaps getting those replaced is a good thing. However, that was not an expense we needed or wanted just before Christmas, but tires are one of those things you don't skimp on, especially not in Saskatchewan. And my computer is badly broken, my laptop, I gotta think about replacing it. So, is this the 13th? Yes, it is. I'm not superstitious, but it is the 13th. It's not Friday the 13th. Monday the 13th. Never heard of that being an unlucky day, but my experience so far would lead credence to that superstition, were I someone prone to superstition, which I ain't particularly. Okay, well, I said we're walking from College to South Albert, but really we've already left College because now we'll take the diagonal path over here, which will save a little bit. By the new credit union building here. Still using the wired mic. It seems to provide the best sound of anything I've gotten. It was cheaper than anything else I've tried. I was so determined to get a wireless mic. I spent money I needn't have and ended up with the simplest and cheapest option after all that. Oh, here I am, walked right by the walkway. I was looking at the work on the pool down there. They're rebuilding Wascana Pool. Or, well, they tore out the old one and they're building a brand new one, not rebuilding it. This is where I wanted to be. Somebody told me they saw me walk by their house a few days ago, and I said, I'm like American Express. I'm everywhere you want to be. I'll be buying a new MacBook. Yay. However, I might go to the MacBook Air this time. I've always gone with the Pro, but with the new chips, the MacBook Air's current one is probably more powerful than the MacBook Pro. That just gave up the ghost. Lighter, slimmer, and apparently it has the new improved keyboard, which is important because 2 MacBooks ago, the keyboard fell apart with my pretty rigorous use thereof. My most recent MacBook did have the newer keyboard, that's what I'm looking for, and it did not fall apart, so that makes the MacBook Air look more attractive, and it's cheaper, and it's lighter, and it's prettier. You can get it in gold if you want. This is just staging area for the work they're doing on the pool. And since mainly what I do on it is write and edit, I don't really need the most powerful high-end MacBook Pro. Particularly since I'm probably going to be replacing my desktop system soon. It's 6 years old and starting to choke on things. So if I have it for more intensive work like video editing and all that sort of thing, the MacBook is really just kind of a writing device. And a traveling device. So that's the way I'm leaning. MacBook Air with Apple Care. I thought I put Apple Care, that's the extended warranty, on this last one, and if I had, I would bite the bullet and have them repair it, but since I don't, the repair cost is half the cost of a brand new one and 2/3 the cost of a new MacBook Air. I still haven't decided. I might have them repair it yet, because there's also the whole transferring data and programs and stuff. Although it's entirely possible that if they have to replace the logic board on the new one, they end up wiping the disk in the process. So it's probably 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Everything's backed up. It's just a pain to restore what you need to restore. On the other hand, it's an opportunity to get rid of the stuff you don't need anymore. Here comes Speaker's Corner, which has some actual lanterns that used to stand in Hyde Park in London at the real Speaker's Corner. We'll walk along the west. Oh, well, they certainly haven't cleared these steps of the lake, other than walk over the Albert Street Bridge. So it was very melty yesterday, which means it's kind of icy today. Always the downside of melting this time of year. Eventually it freezes, and then you've suddenly got ice, which is what we've got right here. Right here. Flags flying bravely. A bit of a nip in the wind chill. Not too bad. I'm only wearing my leather jacket because I know I will warm up quickly as I continue to walk. Most of the way I'll be sheltered anyway. Probably only here along the lake where I'm getting the full benefit of the unfettered breeze. The camera does a remarkably good job with the sun, actually. I noticed that yesterday. It makes it look like a disc, not just a big blob. So. That's where the dam is that creates the lake. As the creek flows out there. Lake is thoroughly frozen now. Hi, Kirk. In Vancouver. You know, I think I'll cut through the snow here. It's not really a path, but it's been made into one. People wanting to get to Albert Street, just like me, without having to walk all the way down to where the actual path is. I will walk along Albert today, I think, instead of further over to the left, because I don't usually do that, so that actually makes it a little different than what I usually do. Although it's a very long, straight, tree-lined path here for about 4 blocks. Regina Avenue. If you're heading to the airport, that's where you'd go. I have, of course, walked along it many a time. There was just a touch of snow today. That's why the sidewalk is covered with... Well, I don't know if it was snow. There was some hoarfrost. I was kind of hoping it'd still be here when I came out, but the wind is taking it down. I'm sure I will get a day to walk with hoarfrost, though. There's always a few. So what did I get done writing-wise today? Not much. I had a consultation with Saskatchewan Arts Board as I moved toward publishing other authors. Did some work on revising the contract I've offered to the first of those authors, whom I will announce if and when he signs the contract. Other queries I've asked, so I try to figure out how to make a distribution and actually sell the books after I publish them. It's easy enough to print them, but making money selling them, that's where the challenge comes in. So at the Arts Board, I could conceivably, if I did everything right, get to the point where I would get core funding, which would be like $20,000 a year in government funding to publish books in Saskatchewan. Sounds great. There's a lot of hoops to go through. One of them is I would have to have an editorial board. Instead of just publishing the books I want to publish, which is kind of why I set up Shadowpaw Press, I would have to consult with other professionals whom I would put on a committee of some sort. This makes no sense to me. As I pointed out, Daw Books, who publishes me, one of the major science fiction fantasy publishers in the world, yes, they do have a couple of editors who aren't the publishers, but my editor is one of the publishers. Sheila Gilbert and Betsy Wolheim own the company. They're also editors. They don't have to run their decisions. And she said, well, that's all fine, but they're probably not operating in a grant-based environment. Well, no, they're not. They just make money, hopefully, by publishing books. And that's my ideal. And yet, at the same time, if I could get to where I got some sort of core funding from the government, that would be inside of me says, if the government's giving you money, can take it away if you publish something they don't like. I don't know that I would, but I don't know that I wouldn't either. And so my natural libertarian free enterprise side of me is at war with my sure it'd be nice to have some money to do some publishing side of me. Anyway, I can't get there for a long time. First things first. This first book, I might be able to get a micro grant or two to help defray the cost. And some other steps I might take to make it happen. So, I'll keep you posted. See what I mean about a long, straight road? You've ever wondered why in perspective they talk about the vanishing point? Saskatchewan offers many opportunities to see what that means. That's a pretty good study in perspective just looking down this road. These houses over here, of course, as I've walked by them a few times. 17 minutes to here. I would think the whole walk will only be about 45 minutes. Might be a little more. We'll see. Hi, Miriam in India. Walking south on Albert Street, the main drag through town here. Late afternoon, so the sun's already looking pretty low over there. Not that it got much higher than that, even at noon. Walking by the government buildings on this side. That's the Walter Scott building, named after the first premier. Big houses on the other side. This was one of the oldest and most prestigious areas of the city to live in the early days. A lot quieter back then, of course, before cars came along. It would have seemed very peaceful out here with just a few carriages trotting by, or early cars even. There wouldn't have been very many of them for the first while that these houses were occupied. I have no idea, Miriam. I would not dare to offer any advice on that front. I don't know anything about immigrating to Canada. When we did it, we just moved up from Texas. 1967, we just showed up at the border and said, hi. I mean, this is the way it felt to me as a kid. Maybe my parents had done more work before that I didn't know about, quite possibly. And we wanted to move to Canada. We got our landed immigrant cards right there at the border. Now, thinking about that, I presume my parents had done some preliminary work, and we didn't really just show up at the border and say, hi, we'd like to move to Canada. But as an 8-year-old, that's what it felt like. I better wait for the light. No, I wouldn't dare offer any advice as to how to move to Canada. I think I can cross, but I better be sure that car doesn't come straight, which it didn't. I mean, I guess what I would say is go to the Government of Canada website and see what it says about immigrating. That'd be the straight dope. There's the Lloyd building over here, named after another former premier. Yes, I like to point out to people that I am, in fact, a first-generation immigrant. Not a Canadian by birth. Now, my daughter is, obviously. But not I. I'm a dual citizen. I like that house. All right, now we're passing the T.C. Douglas building, named after yet another former premier, and where the McKinsey Art Gallery is. Get a better look at it in a minute. Over here. The sun's liable to drop behind a row of clouds, it looks like, pretty soon. T.C. Douglas building. Well, as I've said before about the snow, it's okay when you first get it. A few months in, you're really tired of it. Certainly it's what I was excited about moving up here from Texas, even though we had snow every year up in North Texas in the Panhandle, but it didn't last very long. Here it does. It snowed beginning of November, and although we melted off quite a bit during some warm days, as you can see, it certainly didn't go, and then we got some more. It's not going anywhere, and then we'll get some more. So probably April before it all melts. Depends on the year. Also important to remember that with the snow comes cold. I'm going to try to come out no matter what the weather's doing, but it won't necessarily be a walk of any length if it's really, really cold. It feels to me like the gimbal might be jiggling a little, jerking a little. I can't see it on the screen, but I might be able to when I blow it up bigger later. But there's nothing I can do about it if that's the case. A bit of slipperiness along here. Gotta watch out for. Of course, if you just want to see the snow, you can always come as a tourist. And you enjoy. You're not stuck living with it. This is Regina Christian School here. That's not what it was built as, but they took over this old school. I think it was a boys' school, somebody told me, maybe, at some point. Anyway, it's now Regina Christian School, K to 12. Hence the religiousness of the billboard there. This is their playground and sports field over here. They even have a hill. That light up there will transition us into the commercial part of South Albert. So how far have I come? How long have I been walking? Almost half an hour? Yeah, maybe 50 minutes. So pretty much the right length for one of these walks. It'd be faster on a warm day when I wasn't being careful about slipping. The next thing here is a senior's retirement, assisted living, I guess. I think are not really assisted at all, but you can get some assistance. I don't know how high it goes care-wise. Probably not very. There's probably maybe some housekeeping and some meals level of assistance. I did know somebody that lives there, but I think they need a higher level of care now. They're not in there anymore. Oh, look, there's one of those random spam comments. I have no idea what they mean. Probably don't want to know. Sun still hasn't quite touched that row of clouds over there. Walk-in tours, always welcome. Marion Chateau, this is called. Oh, look, they got some Christmas decorations up here. Not lit up at the moment, but I'm sure they are at night. Not real deer. All right, here we transition into commercial from residential, much on the other side of 25th here. It's commercial. Looks like school's out. Those all look like high school students. There's a high school just down there. Used to be a Safeway, now it's a co-op grocery store. Somebody needs a muffler. Now there'll be a left turn signal I have to wait for. And then it's my turn. Alright, now it's just straight down through the commercial side of things, down to where OK Tire is at the end of this sidewalk. Basically, not quite the end of the sidewalk. That's the Golden Mile Center over there, shopping mall. Over here is the India Market, Indian food store. There was a wine store there originally. Well, I don't know originally, but there was one for a while. But now it's India Market. A few other things over there, including a Robin's Donuts. India Market has pride of place on the sign too. A range of quality products, it says. Well, nobody ever says a range of substandard products, so one would hope they're quality products. Oh yeah, there's a Western Pizza over here. I've been in there quite a few times. Occasionally for after show receptions and parties after performances, we've come there. Has a room that's well suited to that. And there's a bunch of stuff over there in the mall. Technically my bank's over there, but I do all my banking downtown. Still hasn't quite gone behind that bank of clouds. I thought it would have by now. See, private room available, up to 50 people. This has been empty for a while now. Keep expecting somebody to build something here. It seemed to be a prime location, but so far nothing. I walk on the grass because there's less ice. to a point. So I don't want to fall in this hole. This Marriott here is pretty new. Gotta watch my feet all along here. There's unexpected slippery patches throughout. Kentucky Fried Chicken's been there a long time, as long as I've been here. There's a supposed London pub over here I keep meaning to check out, but I never have. London Bell, that's what they call it. Then there's another hotel. That one's been there a lot longer. It used to be called the West Harvest Inn, but I don't think they call it that anymore. Apartments over there. Oh, there we go. All right, it's called the Royal Hotel now. I've commented on that every time I walk by. That woman behind me was yelling into her phone. Did not sound happy. Been in the restaurant in here a few times, including on the morning of my wedding, I think. This is where we had a get together with family. And my brothers and I went out golfing, of all things. Really? This is the best place you can find to exchange cryptic messages that mean nothing to anybody except you? Earl's over there. Sadly, that was our Blockbuster video rental place at one time. Even sadder, there used to be a bookstore here, Book and Briar Patch, my favorite independent bookstore, but it's gone now. Crocus and Ivy is a nice store too, but we used to come to the bookstore there to go to the coffee shop. And Alice, when she was little, would look at books, often buy them. Well, I'd buy them for her, since she was like 5 or 6. Did a couple of readings, and did I do a reading there? I don't know. Certainly did a signing or 2 or 3. I'm gonna walk up here because their driveway looks clearer than their sidewalk. This one has an Irish pub in it. That is where I have mentioned before. I got a pint of Guinness spilled on me when we came to see the Arrogant Worms one night after the symphony. I was wearing my suit. The waitress managed to spill a pint of Guinness all over me, or at least a portion of a pint. I also mentioned I recently read Alan Doyle's book about traveling across the country when Great Big Sea was just getting started. He was the lead singer for Great Big Sea from Newfoundland, and he mentioned the pub here, the place they played. At the time they came back on their 20th anniversary tour, they were filming the Brant Center, which is our largest indoor space. So they did all right for themselves in the intervening years. Burger King. As soon as I get home, or free of this, I will check out to see if I can figure out what these mysterious messages are. See if it's something I should be reporting to the authorities. I can memorize the names of those who send them too, so they have to have a YouTube channel or YouTube account in order to post here. Here we got Ann Parrish and Sandra Adams. Ann Parrish and Sandra Adams. I'm going to look into that. Or, one of you could just tell me what the heck you're doing. Another hotel, as we go by, Tim Hortons, very important. If you live in Canada, got to know where all the Tim Hortons are. This used to be a keg. No, this still is the keg. It's another one that changed down here. There's a big new keg further north. The Keg Steakhouse. Ann Parrish, Sandra Adams. Just offices and a radio station in here. Co-op, gas station and car wash. Cal Tire over there, but I might get the car washed on my way down since it's getting colder. If you can get it just before it turns cold, it'll stay pretty clean because the roads don't get sloppy if it's cold enough this time of year. Closer to spring, it doesn't really matter. Even if it's minus 10, the roads will still melt. You'll still get some sloppiness, but I should run it through the, and it's also not so cold that it freezes up and won't be able to open the doors. Get a free teen burger at A&W. Getting close. Not too much further. How long have I been walking? 45 minutes? Yeah. So it'll be about a 50-minute walk, it looks like. I left the car. Oh. Well, now isn't that interesting? external mic disconnected. I'm going to plug it back in and see if it reconnects. Well, that was weird. Now that makes me think maybe the problem isn't in the mics, it's actually in the app or the phone. Interesting. Annoying, but interesting. I mean, it's only happened once now with the wired mic. And it was happening every time I went out with the wireless one, but still, I don't like that. Sun has managed to stay above that bank of clouds. It's mostly going sideways, I guess, right now. It hasn't really started to sink too much. Now the Pizza Hut, or, well, a Pizza Hut. This is bad. Let's go over here, off of the skating rink they call a sidewalk. And here's OK Tire, which is where my car is. Well, fortunately, if the exterior mic disconnects, the phone, I think now, it didn't necessarily with one setup I had, continues, so you don't always notice the difference. Anyway, thank you for walking with me. I'm going to look up Ann Parrish and Sandra Adams and these strange messages they left me and report back on my next walk tomorrow. That's it for now. Goodbye.